All right, YouTube, once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Auburn is entering a very, very tough stretch. I mean, things just could not get any more difficult for the Tigers, especially if they want to meet the goals of the season. Of course, the SEC championship is always one that you want to make, the SEC West. All of that appears numerically to be still on the table, but a whole lot of stuff beyond their control would actually have to happen. Of course, LSU would actually have to lose 3 conference games, which is highly unlikely because of what LSU has left. The only game I could see LSU possibly losing is to Alabama. And of course, Alabama, if they went out, obviously they're in anyway. But the only team that Auburn has to judge against is LSU, and that's a head-to-head team. They haven't played Alabama yet. LSU would have to just catastrophically fail in order for Auburn to make it to this thing in a conventional kind of way. SEC championship appearance is probably just out of the question because, like I said before, too many just unforeseen, it just won't happen. The only other way that Auburn could possibly, and this is like I'm talking about a very, very long shot, is the fact that the top 10 is actually pretty shaky. You don't have Notre Dame, who's in the top 4 to take up a spot anymore, but you have a lot of matchups that could be crucial. You got Ohio State taking on Penn State. You also have Oregon taking on Utah. Both of those teams will eliminate and create some traction there. But I think overall, best case scenario, most realistic case scenario, is you're going to have the possibility of having 2 SEC teams. Alabama and LSU are the 2 SEC teams that I could see actually making it to the college football playoff. And you could have an Auburn team, let's just say if they win out, because Alabama could make it in even with a loss to Auburn, especially that late. And they'll still, and assuming they beat LSU, would be a little sketchy because actually it wouldn't. A head-to-head should allow Alabama into the college football playoff. Into the SEC championship game. And LSU could be at the house on the outside looking in with 1 loss, but their only loss coming to a top number 1 team. So you could be looking at a situation where Alabama is number 1, LSU probably number 4, and in a weird case scenario, you got Auburn at number 5. And Auburn obviously will be in a New Year's Six Bowl because of that, and that is probably the best type of consolation considering how this team, could possibly turn out down the stretch. Here's the biggest thing. You got to win at least one, taking the whole SEC championship, college football playoff, all that stuff off the table. Down the stretch, you got to at least split between Alabama and Georgia just to have a salvageable season, looking at a 9-3 season, 10 wins with the bowl game, and you just move forward from there. Also, we've been talking about a lot this whole Bo Nix / Joey Gatewood thing. I actually talked about on a live stream to where Sunday is actually the last video that I'm going to do about the whole Bo Nix, Joey Gatewood competition and things like that, because it's not happening. Gus Malzahn has proven time and time again that if he has not yanked him by now, he's not going to yank him. He sees something that maybe some of us as casual fans or some of us as sports analysts just don't see. He's seeing beyond this season, which I think is a little on the unfair side because you have guys like Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson, who has played absolutely lights out, came back for their senior year for the opportunity to compete on a high level at Auburn. They went out. I think you're still going to see them as they're still going to be one of the best defenses in Auburn history. But it's just unfortunate the losses that were, sustained in this particular season. The one that will prove to be really costly is Florida. I think that is a game that Auburn just was the better team. But that's neither here nor there. You look ahead to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a team, obviously, Auburn will be taking on this coming weekend in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Night game. the media has actually been pretty kind to Auburn this year to not have them playing these 12 o'clock games. Only had one this year, and I don't see another 12 o'clock game in the foreseeable future. The Georgia game will definitely not be a 12 o'clock game. The Alabama game will never be a 12 o'clock game. So Auburn has only had to play one. That's a sign of success there. The media really likes Auburn on TV, and a lot of times because they generate so much drama. They're always dramatic finishes. They always play well. But what Auburn has to do moving forward is they have to start translating those games into actual wins, because if you look at a win over LSU, top ranked, number 2 ranked team in the country, that would have been an epic win for Auburn and an epic win for Gus Malzahn from a perception standpoint with the Auburn Tigers fan base. But, we will just have to wait and see what happens. We will have more coverage, obviously, on Ole Miss. Just want to go ahead and get this thing going this week. No quarterback change for Auburn. You can absolutely forget it. Also, Auburn is I'm talking about a long shot playoff possibility. A lot of crazy stuff has to happen. But with the way the top 10 is set up, especially with Notre Dame being out of the picture, Oklahoma is almost out of the picture. Kind of need Oklahoma to lose one more to get them out of there, and that will actually usher the idea of two SEC teams in the college football playoff. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.